Give the president my personal assurance. When we find the beast, we're sending him to hell.
Before Asylum Films made Sharknado and truly embraced the bizarre, there was the slightly less bizarre Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus. Asylum Films can be tiresome. They know they're bad, and they dig fully into that. But because they know they're bad, they are somehow less good. Mega Shark fits that bill. However, in B movies, there is always an opportunity for one actor to steal the show. In a terrible submarine set reminiscent of Ed Wood, actor Matt Lagan, as captain of the destroyer battleship, gives a performance for the ages, chewing scenery and imbuing his character with equal parts ignorance and arrogance. Today, we spotlight Matt Lagan and dig into what made him such a great B-movie actor.
When I first moved to LA in 2008, of course, I was checking all the trade journals for auditions and stuff like that. I was a non-union actor, so I could only really get the cheap jobs. And I would see these auditions for, first one I saw was for a movie called The Terminators. And it was about murderous cyborg robot that came back through time to kill his rival or whatever. And I was like, well, that sounds like The Terminator, but okay. And then the next one I saw by the same production company a few months later was, there was a movie that came out around that time that was called The Day the Earth Stood Still. And they had a movie called The Day the Earth Stopped. And then soon after that, Transformers came out, and this same company had an audition for The Transmorphers. So I'm starting to see what these guys are about. So when I finally saw the audition for Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus, I thought, gee, I wonder what that's about. It's one of those great titles where once you've heard the title, you know the whole plot. And I saw it was being done by the Asylum, the same production company that had done all those other schlocky knockoffs. So I thought, well, this sounds fun, and what the heck, $75 is $75. So I decided to audition. Of course, I went in and read for the lead, being a, narcissistic actor. They didn't, needless to say, they didn't cast me as the lead. They gave me this small part as the destroyer captain. But that was the start.
Target's disappeared, sir.
You mean destroyed. Target's destroyed.
No, sir, I'm not getting anything at all. There's usually a residual.
Radio Washington. Target destroyed.
But, sir.
Target return. It rises.
I wanted to be a serious, legit actor, so I really struggled with that role because I had these lines like, we're sending him to hell. And I thought, how am I going to make these work? Because they're, pretty over the top. How am I going to pull these off and make them believable? I was concerned because not only was Jack the director, he was also the writer. And you don't know if this guy thinks that what he's written is a masterpiece. He might think he's Shakespeare. So I didn't know how to approach it. Right before I went in to film my scene, we're on location again at that big power plant down in Long Beach. And Jack Perez, the director, came over to me. And, of course, typical in Hollywood, I met him for the first time 5 minutes before we filmed together. Jack came over, introduced himself, and he said to me, listen, I don't want anybody to take this too seriously. We can be a little operatic with this. So then I knew, okay, he knows what this is about. He knows what he's written. He knows it's a little over the top or a lot over the top. Then it was just like, okay, great, playtime. We can have fun. And it just took all the pressure off for me. So then we went in and just had a great time. And we did some improvising on the set. We had filmed the whole scene. We'd done all the lines, done everything. And Jack says, we need one more line where the shark has been destroyed, or we think we've killed it, and of course it resurfaces and comes after us. It's not dead after all. So spoiler alert. So he says we need one more line at this moment. I don't know if it was my idea or his. It was probably him because it sounds like a line that he would come up with. But I just leaned into the camera and I said, "It rises." And, of course, that, for me, became the line of the whole scene. But I just thought that was an awesome line. And it made it into the trailer. I just think that's a great one. It's a classic line. One of the funny things about the whole experience was that I didn't know the movie had gotten any traction until several months later, and really just by accident. I hadn't thought about the movie in all that time, and I booted up my computer one day, and my homepage came up, and of course on the left side was all the news of the day. And down in the left-hand corner was a picture of a shark, like eating the Golden Gate Bridge. I kind of went down and looked at that picture, and this looks like that. This kind of reminds me of that movie we just did, a few months ago, about the giant shark. And then I saw in there it said something about this giant shark movie getting 300,000 views in its first day or its first hour or something. And I looked at the title and I realized, oh, this is my movie. It had really it really had legs. The thing just took off and ran from the very beginning. And that was the first inkling that I had that it was even noticed by anybody.